Hello, everybody! Today we're going to be talking about my experience with rideshare and letting other people ride my Indian Scout. So one of my buddies, Ricky Bobber, posted a video. He posted his bike up for rent on rideshare. And so I talked to him a little bit, and I was like, hey, is it worth it? Aren't you worried about people trashing your bike and abusing your bike and everything? And is it worth the income that you get out of it? And so he kind of talked to me about their policies and stuff getting damaged, and rideshare pretty much covered it, and that whole process. And I figured, you know what? All right, let's give it a shot. Let's give it a try. Let's see what happens. So I posted my bike up, and within a month, I had 3 reservations. So within that first month and a half, I made about $500. So I thought, hey, you know what? That's pretty good. You know, that takes care of the insurance for the bike for the year. And since I have my Challenger, I could still go out and ride. I could still enjoy myself when I wanted to, and still do everything I want to, because the bike, the Scout was going to be at home anyway. So I figured, you know what, since I got 2 bikes, might as well have the Scout do a little bit of work for me and make a little bit of money, just to help offset some of those costs. And the nice thing about rideshare is you can set the price, you can set your schedule, you can even offer additional gear. So if someone needs a helmet or jacket, gloves, whatever else you have laying around that's still good, that you're willing to rent out, you can add that on there. But when I took a look, I was curious, you know, how many people are putting up their Indian Scouts for rent? There really wasn't anyone. There was no one doing Scouts. There were big touring bikes. Like, I think some people were doing the touring bikes, but no one was doing the Scout. And I was thinking, all right, if someone wants to do like a day trip, or if they want to test ride the Scout, or if they want to do something for short periods of time, I think that's where I would get some attention. And that actually came out to be true. The first guy that rented the bike was actually thinking about getting a Scout, but he wanted to ride it for a day, see if he really likes the bike. And he ended up buying a Scout after riding mine. And so I thought that was super cool, you know? And then I've had other people reserve it for a couple of days, thinking, you know, I'm not quite sure if the Indian Scout's right for them or not. And I did have a couple of people who reserved it and actually went touring on it. So I thought that was also pretty cool. You're gonna get a variety of people coming in, and the nice thing is you can have a conversation with them prior to accepting the reservation. If you feel like you're not getting good vibes from people that are reaching out, you don't have to reserve it to them. That's nice. So you are in full control over who you hand your keys to, and making sure that you have confidence that they're not gonna completely just abuse your property and trash it and everything else. So of course you're never gonna really know for sure, but it's nice that you have control over who you give your bike to. And having rideshare provide that insurance for people renting the bike, I think is massive. I think if it wasn't for that, the platform would not survive. Because that's the only reason why I felt more comfortable putting my bike on there, was because they provide insurance for the people riding the bike. So if something were to happen, they're covered. And you can even control how much insurance you want to give to that rider. So if you want to give them the maximum insurance, but take a bit of a hit on the amount of money you make, you can do that. So it gives you a lot of control. I think that's a really, really strong point of the platform. And the nice thing is too, I set my pickup address in a public area, because I don't really want people coming to my house and knowing where I live. So I can set the pickup area to be in a public area, and then pick up and drop off is in the same area. So you have control over where you go. And even if you want to drop off the bike, you can do that too. And you can even charge for going somewhere to drop off the bike. So it gives you a lot of control and a lot of capabilities. Overall, you know, I've had, I think, 4 or 5 reservations on my Scout, and they've all been really positive, really well. They've all gone really well, good communication. You know, people actually send me pictures while they're out riding. I thought that's super cool. So it's been a very positive experience for me so far. For me, if you're not riding your bike too often, you're willing to let some strangers ride it, but the trade-off is you make a little bit of money on the side for it, and you're comfortable with that, I would say, take a look into it, give it a shot. Now, some people are obviously not gonna be comfortable at all with letting strangers ride their bike. I totally get it. And that's always a concern I have. By the way, if you're in the Bay Area and want to ride my Indian Scout, click on the link below to find my posting. But I think it's a really interesting platform, and I think it's an interesting concept. And it's a great way to go out and ride different bikes. If you want to try out different bikes, go rent it for a day. The prices don't seem to be too bad. So if you're thinking about getting different bikes and, going to the dealer is one thing, but, the test rides at the dealers are always a little bit difficult, right? Because chances are you can only ride for a couple of miles. You don't always get to go on the highway. You certainly don't get to go on like windy roads and really test out the bike. So you're only getting a little preview of the bike. And so oftentimes you're kind of pinning your hopes that I'm going to make a big investment in something that I'm hoping I'm going to really like. So why not spend a little bit of money, reserve the bike for a day or two for a weekend, really take it out on all the places that you're going to want to go ride and see, is this the right bike for you? There was one gentleman who reserved my bike for the weekend. He was debating between getting the Scout or getting a Chief or getting a different bike. And so he reserved the Scout, went on a ride, came back the next day and said, you know what, this isn't the right bike for me. Great, now you know. Now you didn't spend thousands of dollars on a bike that you weren't really going to enjoy. I think that's a great premise for this service. Or if you're going to go touring, but you don't have a touring bike, the prices on rideshare are going to be a hell of a lot cheaper than going to a dealer. I can almost guarantee that. They're going to be way cheaper than going to a dealer and trying to rent a bike through them. Or if you just want to do something different, hey, I'm tired of my sport bike, I want to get on a cruiser. Or hey, I'm tired of my cruiser, I want to try out a sport bike, or a naked bike, or a touring bike. You can check out and see what's there and spend a little money and have a great weekend. Do something different, add some variety to your life. So I think it's good for the consumer. I think it's good for the people posting their bikes. They can make a little bit of money, make a little bit of income. That's always good. I think it's a win-win. So I encourage you, if you enjoyed the channel, please go ahead, like and subscribe. Let's grow the channel, let's grow the community together. And have a great day. As always, be brave, do good, take care of yourselves, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.